Hi, I'm Stu from HiveMind Automation and welcome to the Hive. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at these e14 candle globes. Now, these globes were gifted to me by a very generous subscriber and they are used. So I don't have the box to look around with me, but I have a slightly cheeky solution for that. As always, we'll take a look at pairing with the native Wiz app and we'll see how well these lights work with Home Assistant. So while I roll the intro, why don't you take a moment to subscribe, and if you hit the bell icon, you'll get notified when I release new videos each week. While you're at it, if you like what I do here and you want to help to support the channel, check out the affiliate links in the video description to a bunch of home automation gadgets that I have reviewed in the past, and other ways to support the channel, like supporting the channel directly through my Buy Me a Coffee link. The affiliate links and my Buy Me a Coffee link are also easy to find on my website, hivemindautomation.com.au. With all of that out of the way, let's get started. So as I mentioned in the intro, these three Wiz e14 Colours smart globes were gifted to me by a very generous subscriber who came to see me at the 2023 Train and Hobby Show at the beginning of March. Checking the Bunnings website, however, these lights are valued at $26.59 each. I've also recently purchased a bunch more Wiz branded accessories to test out. So we're entering into somewhat of a Wiz series right now. Last time I tested out Wiz globes, I liked the globes, but I did have some struggles with them needing a 2.4 gigahertz only Wi-Fi for one of the globes. But since figuring out that issue, I've since set up an SSID on my Wi-Fi access point with 2.4 gigahertz only. And while I have been experiencing some weirdness with 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, it's normally resolved by rebooting the access point, which I've also done today. So we hopefully won't be running into that issue here. It's also worth mentioning, since I last reviewed Wiz globes, that they've had a fairly significant overhaul of their native app. So we'll get an opportunity to explore that here today as well. Now, I would normally have a box to explore, but in this case I don't. But I was a little bit cheeky and I went and took a look at the box on the shelf at my local Bunnings and grabbed some photos. So on the front, we see that it's a 470 lumen 4.9 watt LED, equivalent to a 40 watt incandescent bulb. It has 16 million colors and cool to warm white. There's a picture of what the app looks like, Wi-Fi certified, a Bluetooth logo. It does 2200 to 6550K color temperature range. It's an E14 fitting, 470 lumens again, 360 degree beam angle, 220 to 240 volts at 50 to 60 hertz, and plug and play, and apparently it works with Google, Alexa, and Siri shortcuts. On the right side, directly connect to Wi-Fi, schedules, voice control, control anywhere, easy ambiance with preset modes, and it works with IFT and it works with SmartThings. On the back, we've got circadian rhythm, dynamic effects, smart dimming, and a serving suggestion. And we have the download on the App Store or Google Play logos, and the website in the bottom right hand corner, wizconnected.com. And on the left side of the box, lots of energy rating data, warranty details. It claims 50,000 on-off cycles, a 15,000 hour lifetime. Apparently it uses 5 kilowatt hours per 1,000 hours, and there's some measurements here too. It's 39 millimeters by 116 millimeters. The Wi-Fi compatibility details here suggest it needs a 2.4 gigahertz 802.11b, G, or N Wi-Fi for full functionality, and the light won't operate correctly when connected to a dimmer. There's some compliance data on the bottom of the box and details of the manufacturer, and you'll note that Signify, the manufacturer of the Wiz devices, is actually the parent company of Philips Hue. So we're expecting pretty good things out of the Wiz globes. And on the top, lastly, we've just got hashtag connected light, and this C.E14 symbol denotes that it is a candle style E14 globe. Okay, so we don't have a box to take it out of, and it's a light globe. There's not really anything super interesting to say about the physical device. It is a candle style E14 globe that would work pretty well in a chandelier or candelier style fitting, or in some ambient lamps around the place. I will say that the build quality feels pretty solid, but I would expect that from the parent company of Philips. So being that there's really not much to talk about in terms of the physical characteristics of the bulb, let's connect it up to some power and see what it's like. Now, while I do that, I'll need to make sure that I run through a proper reset cycle, because I can't be certain that it's been properly reset before being given to me. Now, to do that, I'm going to install the globe into this little lamp that I've got here. It happens to have an E14 fitting. And once it's there, I'm going to power cycle it 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it should start kind of pulsing here, which I hope that's coming through okay on the camera. I see the camera's strobing a little bit. Unfortunately, that is a camera artifact. It doesn't look to the naked eye like it is strobing though. So that indicates that it should be in pairing mode now, and over on my iPhone we can begin the pairing process. Now, the Wiz app has changed quite a bit since we last looked at it. So much so that it's actually a completely new download from the App Store, and it's now called Wiz V2. So after you've downloaded and installed the Wiz V2 app and gone through the process of setting it up, we can open that up here, and we see that we've got this device found underneath Wiz Advisor, and it's asking us to tap here to start pairing the device. We've got one device detected, and it is a candle, and it's got the MAC address there. I'll tick the box and I'll tap start. And I need to select a room. I'm going to put it in this test room that I created moments ago. And I need to put in the Wi-Fi name and password. I've got HiveMind IoT here, and I'm going to type in the password for that network. And I'll tap next. So now it's doing Bluetooth pairing, and it's pairing to the candle. So hopefully we should see something change here. In fact, it says it's done, and the light has gone up to a very warm white. So I will tap done there, and please select a light to set up and assign to a room. So I will do that. I'll just put it in, I'll make it look like that. We'll tap next. We'll leave it name as candle, and it's asking us about a power switch. So choose what this light should do when you power it on using a physical switch. There's Wiz Click, which is switch on once for light mode 1, switch on twice in a row for light mode 2. So you can actually have these Wiz globes change their behavior based on your physical switch. So if you were to just turn it on once, it'll go into the warm white light mode 1. And if you were to turn it on, off, on, so turning it on twice, it'll go into this focus mode, light mode 2. There's also last status, so you can have it just return to the last status. I'll leave it at Wiz Click for now, and I'll just tap next. We've got fading. A longer fade in will make your lights brighten more gradually when you turn them on, and a longer fade out will let your lights dim smoothly before turning off. I'm going to set this to 1 second for both of these and then tap next. And then it says our device is successfully set up. So now that we've got that set up, we've got our test room here, and we can drill in, and we've got candle. So we've got off and on the different presets. So we've got warm white, which is what it's on now. We've got a focus mode, which is a very cool white with probably a little bit of green in there actually. We've got a relax mode, and that's a kind of almost pinky white color. And then there's party mode, which is a red mode, and it's cycling through green and it's going back to red. So that's going to cycle through some different colors there. If I drill into the light itself, we can do candle light, and we can do a pulse. So that's going to kind of pulse a little bit. Golden white, steampunk. It's kind of hard to make out on camera what these are doing. There's fireplace, and that's kind of a flickering between an orange and a yellow color. There's fall, which is some autumn colors. Club, which is kind of a dim orange. Sunset, which is kind of that pinky color that you sometimes see at sunset, and it looks like it's probably cycling through some other colors as well. Summer, forest, jungle, mojito, ocean, deep dive, Christmas. Christmas cycles between green and red. We've also got Diwali, and we've got Halloween. So there's also a couple of progressive settings here. So we've got a wake up mode. So that is going to presumably wake up and go from a kind of a dim, cool white all the way up to a fairly bright warm white. And we've also got a bedtime, which is a warm white, which is fairly bright. And I'm guessing that is going to proceed down to a much dimmer warm white color. If I grab the dimmer slider here, we can dim that down. That's all working pretty well. We can go to static here, and we've got some functional things. We've got daylight, cool white, warm white. We've got a night light mode, so it's nice and dim. We've got a cozy mode, true colors, relax, focus, TV time, and plant growth. So that's kind of interesting. And then we've got this custom mode here, so we can just grab custom colors and go through and cycle through those custom colors there. And we can then tap in the top right here and go to a cool to warm white slider and go 2200K all the way up to 6500K. And we could set some favorites there with the heart button next to the color temperature there. Or we can choose our color based on a hex value, and also set a favorite there. So there's a couple of dynamic presets. There's tons of dynamic presets actually that we can choose from, and then the static presets as well. And we can define our own static presets if we choose a color and then hit the favorite button there. In the top right hand corner, we've got the kebab menu, and we've got settings, rename, and move. I'll just take a look at settings, and it's really just about our power switch settings and our fading settings that we set up during the initial setup. And we've also got the device name, which is candle, and we can expand next to candle and choose the test room. We can delete the device, and we can take a look at the device info. We've got the brand is Wiz, features dimmable, adjustable white, and adjustable colors. Got the firmware version, the MAC address, the home ID, last sync, and the internal IP address. Okay, so I had a couple of difficulties with my screen capture there, but I think I have them sorted out now. It's a little bit different than I would normally do this, but fingers crossed it all works. So what I'm going to do over in Home Assistant now, I'm going to head over to my settings, and then I'm going to go to devices and services. And if we scroll through here, we might see something auto-discovered. No, we haven't got anything auto-discovered, but that's okay. I'm going to click Add Integration in the bottom right-hand corner, and I'm going to search for Wiz, and I'm going to click that there. Now it's asking us for an IP address, and conveniently we have the IP address in our Wiz app, which is 168.112. We could also find that using something like LandScan, but I'll put that in and I'll hit submit. We could also leave this blank and it will discover. So let's try and see if it'll discover that. I'll hit submit. And it appears to have discovered that on 192.168.112. So that's quite nice. I'll tap submit again, and where is it? So I'll scroll down, I'll put it in my test room here. We'll tap finish, and if we scroll down, we see we've got our Wiz RGBW tunable and the 56B2BE. If I drill in to the one device, it's this one here, and it's showing as a green color. We can turn that off. It takes a second to turn off. Turn on, takes a second to turn on. And if I drill in using the icon here, it seems to think that it is off. Not sure what that's about. It did take a moment there to refresh and it's come back up. But we've got our brightness is all working. We can grab our colors here. We can grab our white brightness and turn our color brightness down if we wanted to. We can grab color temperature and go to 6535 or all the way down to 2202 or anywhere in between. It's quite responsive. So that's really quite nice how responsive it is. And we can go to our effects here, and we've got all those same effects that we saw inside the native app as well. So a lot of these are dynamic effects, but there's also some static effects there as well. I think TV time was a static effect. We've also got night light was a static effect. Cool white is a static effect. Daylight, I think, is a static effect. Warm white as well. But things like our wake up and bedtime, those were dynamic effects, and they were progressive ones. And there's also the party mode here, which, as you might be able to see on camera there, hopefully it's coming through. It is progressing through some different colors there. So that is the Wiz Colours E14 candle bulb gifted to me by a subscriber. The Wiz integration with Home Assistant is probably one of the easiest in the business. The lights are nicely responsive and they provide a decent color and light output. My only concern, as we've discussed previously, is the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi connectivity. 2.4 gigahertz is the most congested radio spectrum on the planet. And as much as Wi-Fi is the most ubiquitous connectivity method in the world, I have been experiencing some pretty frustrating problems with my 2.4 gigahertz devices here in my own home. Those issues are frequently resolved by resetting my access point, and I suspect this may at least be in part due to my aging wireless access point, but alternative connectivity options like Zigbee, Z-Wave, and Thread would help to reduce the impact on my wireless network. I will be updating my wireless access point as soon as I can, which hopefully will help to resolve a lot of the connection issues that I've been seeing. But if I was still making use of a regular consumer wireless router, like the one that my ISP provided, for example, there's a good chance that I would not have managed to get nearly as many devices connected as I already have in my smart home. So with that in mind, in an E14 globe, it might make a bit more sense to go for something like the IKEA Tradfree, which is $20 unless you specifically want the candle shape. The IKEA globes are Zigbee controlled, and while you would then need a Zigbee bridge, you're not creating more load on your wireless network. That said, Zigbee does still exist in the 2.4 gigahertz network, so it's plausible that you could still have some trouble if maybe you've got an older microwave oven with bad shielding that puts out a lot of noise in that 2.4 gigahertz range, or you have a lot of other 2.4 gigahertz interference where you live. Let me know what you think of the Wiz Colours candle globe in the comments section down below, and whether you would prefer Wi-Fi or Zigbee. That's all we have for this video, and I do hope that it helped you in your home automation journey. Be sure to drop a comment down below with a home automation idea you'd like to see me cover in a future video. And don't forget to follow HiveMind Automation on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button down below to give it a like, and if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing now. While you're at it, if you hit the bell icon, you'll get notified when I release new videos, and that's normally each week. Lastly, if you like what I'm doing here and want to support the channel, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description down below. Any contributions you make through Buy Me a Coffee get put towards making more and hopefully better content for you to enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Stu from Hive Mind Automation, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.